this is Bailey with the channel Chill With Us, and this is one of our associated playlist channels called Tell the Retail Tale. I've worked in retail for over 20 years, got some pretty interesting stories, but this is just kind of introduction video to let you know a little bit more about Chill With Us. We will do shows, Dano and I, the other hosts we have with the show, will be doing shows together, showing stuff occurring in the Midwest, fishing, hunting, just stories about growing up. But we're also going to have what we call playlist channels, that they're own separate entities, which him and I will do on our own. Maybe he goes on a fishing trip, I go on a hunting trip, or we just go out and enjoy the outdoors, or just something interesting going on in our life. Maybe it's just cooking dinner or breakfast or something. But this is the Tell a Retail Tale. And I've been in retail for 20 years. I started in 2001. I worked at a grocery store through high school, being a sack boy, which is just sacking groceries, helping customers carry them out. After I graduated in 2001, I worked for a large sporting goods company that, if you do any fishing or you do any hunting, you'll know their name. I'm not going to say, because I'm not sure on the legal specifics. They bought their own competition a few years ago, so they're pretty much the #1 sporting goods supplier for the entire United States. I worked on that property for less than one summer. I was watering 235 trees that the owner planted kind of on his own or little resort. He built some log cabins out there and had a big shed that was used for housing his boats, who had actually been there for the coal company that went out 10 to 15 years before he even bought the property. Is where they stored all the boats and everything. But I worked out there, and it was a good job. I mean, it was a job where I thought, well, hell, this is close by. I can go out here and work, water trees, be outside, enjoy the outdoors. Not so much. The one boss that was out there, he was kind of like a guide for the guy that owned the company. He would be called and tell him, get the boats ready, we're coming out and going fishing, or bringing this person down, which could be anywhere from a high profile star to a NASCAR driver that he was out there trying to close a business deal with, or get an endorsement deal with, to, put their emblem on their race car, or just, whatever, or just to hang out with famous people. Either way, he was the guy that was kind of like the guide. He set up everything, made sure the cabins were stocked with food, cooked for them and everything. He had a little bit of a Napoleon complex, which is me being sarcastic. He was the type of guy that would sit in a company truck and have the AC on while he was watching you carry the water to 285 different trees to water, and then complain about you not moving fast enough and that you didn't need to go to break till it was done. Yeah, he was a throwback to the old school, I should say. He always had the story about when he was younger and how much faster he could be doing the job if he was my age. And maybe he was telling the truth, maybe not. But he was not the kind of person you wanted to have in charge. He did not inspire loyalty to any kind of any degree to the company that he was representing. And I think it went back to a lot of resentment he had for the way he was being treated by his boss. I mean, he was shot in the ass by the company's owner's own son one year when they were turkey hunting, and all his boss said was, "Were you okay? You need to go to the hospital?" And he's like, "No, I'm fine. It just, a pellet came off and shot me in the ass. I told him not to shoot till I was out of the way. Didn't happen." And the boss was like, "Well, you're not gonna die. You're fine," and just walked off. Wasn't compensated, nothing. So I mean, it's kind of a trickle down effect. But yeah, it got to a point where one day there was a flood out, and this property has a huge lake on it, and the river running into it. They had problems with people coming up the river on boats, which of course, if you own a large piece of property and there is a river that goes into it, I don't know what the laws are in different states, but in this state, if you can get into a body of water and reach another body of water, you are more than welcome to stay on that body of water, as long as you do not get out on the physical property. So they had problems with that. They stopped that by putting a huge grate over the overpass so people couldn't bring their boats up, which there was a lot of complaints, but as far as I know, it's still there. They've never been made to remove it. The deal they made with the land management and conservation is they had to make sure that grate was clear and not let debris build up on it to cause floating issues, which, guess what? One summer that I was working, that was my job. I was there to get down into the water and remove all of the driftwood. And like I said, the boss that I had at Napoleon Complex, he's like, you need to clear this. I'm like, okay, I'll go up to the building and get waders. He's like, you don't have time to get waders, get down in there. And, you know, a lot of people would say I wouldn't have done that or nothing, but here's the deal. You're a young kid. You don't know any better. You just do as you're told by your boss. So here I am getting down on the water, loading a tractor bucket up full of driftwood on this grate. The water is going crazy around me because it just rained real heavy, you know, and all of a sudden, after a couple of loads, he takes off, and I'm like, where the hell did he go? And so I'm standing here, just kind of had a light bulb moment. It's like, I'm here, he took off. What happens if I slip and fall? I can't get back up. I'm trapped. I drowned. And I'm like, this job's not worth it. So that day, I got out of there, dried off best I could, got my truck and left, and then I went and applied to work at this retail place. And next day they told me, yeah, come on in, we'll hire you, and dropped the keys off at his house and said, I'm done. He just want to know, do I owe you any money? Do we owe you money? Like, no, you don't owe me a damn thing. I'm done. And that's what started this 20 plus year career working in retail. I've got a lot more interesting stories that pertain to the retail business with customers, dealing with management, maybe explain a few ways that management could maybe inspire more loyalty in their workforce instead of doing what they've done over the years. I mean, I've seen the business change in the past 20 years from being, it used to be fun to work in retail. You could have a good time helping people. You could have a good time working, to there are so many rules and regulations that you cannot hardly do your job within the time frame they give you, because you have to follow these certain set of rules. And it's not so much safety concerns or liability issues. It's just like they want this done a certain way and this way, and it's like, well, you can't do it this way because that's not how the best way to do it is. And it's like, well, we don't care, we're in charge, you do it this way. And it's like, okay, you're not going to get what you want, but we'll do what you want. But anyway, this, like I said, this is a program channel. We're affiliated with Chill With Us. That's the parent company. And if you like it and subscribe to Chill With Us. This will be on the playlist channel, and I hope to hear from you. Have a good day.